What's up, horror fans? Welcome to an all-new episode of The Horror Bin. I'm your host, Julian Fernandez. We're here to rate, review, and give you our recommendations for your next horror movie night. Today with me, as always, no stranger to the podcast, the one, the only, Kelly McInerney.
Hi.
And if Kelly's here, you guys know we're talking about one of the newer horror films that's out right now. Hopefully still out in theaters right now, so you can go check it out.
It's new when we saw it.
It's new when we saw it, for sure. We're talking about Abigail, released in 2024. Before we get too much into it, let's go ahead and take a look at the trailer.
Because I'm going to look on IMDb to look at some fun facts.
Oh, yeah.
Came highly recommended.
Giancarlo Esposito.
Emphasis on highly, dude.
No backstory.
Yeah, bro.
No cell phones.
Kathryn Newton.
A very wealthy man who's about to be $50 million poorer.
I'm here to make sure you're safe.
Oh,
What's
so,
your name?
okay, good.
Mine's Abigail.
You can call me Joey.
Do you have any kids?
I have a little boy.
See you in 24 hours.
Do you know what a pinky promise is? If you behave and do as we say.
It does a good job about not really letting
I
you
pinky promise you.
know exactly
I will do what you
what's...
say.
The whole story, which I
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
You know, I was just talking to somebody yesterday about, I think my job, we were saying how all the worst movies tell you everything.
Yeah.
And I think this is mixed because,
We gotta get
Because you do find out that
You
it's a
do-
vampire.
well, you see some of the best parts in it, like, not the best, but like, revealed Angus clearly dies or whatever, you know?
Yeah. I mean, the lack of him in the trailers is a pretty good indication of that.
But it is a good movie because it doesn't really tell you what's happening, and it doesn't. All the good shots
Okay.
are not in
Kill a
this.
vampire. What
trailer.
Are we talking about, like an Anne Rice or a True Blood? You know, Twilight. Stay
We'll come back to
apart.
that. I hate that part.
Daylight is a big one.
Twilight.
No.
Let's go kill us a fucking vampire.
This whole them coming up with a game plan
Yeah, I
scene,
know.
I hated it.
It's kind of silly. Oh, the directors refer to this film as Ready or Not on steroids. So they knew.
Okay.
Because I got that too.
Yeah, you didn't say that was Ready or Not.
I like playing.
Or you did say that they made Ready or Not.
No, but they said on steroids. It's because of all the blood.
Yeah.
And I like how you see the dancing and you're like, why is that there? And it makes sense in the movie. You know what I mean? And you didn't. That's not spoiled. Like, I don't know.
ballet.
That's kind of a spoiler. Like,
A little bit, but I
see that
mean,
Dan's a
if you don't
vamp.
see his mouth, it's not too much of a spoiler because he's just covered in blood. But yeah, Abigail, released in 2024, a brand new movie. I'll give you a bit of the description for y'all. After a group of criminals kidnapped the ballerina daughter of a powerful underworld figure, they retreat to an isolated mansion, unaware that they're locked inside with no normal little girl. They are not. Indeed. Matt. Ooh.
It's from the guys that made Ready or Not.
Okay, we'll say that. Because that is a tough last name to
I
say.
forget what it's called. Their production company, but
But yeah,
Silent Noise or Radio Noise, Radio Silence.
Radio Silence, that sounds right.
I think that's what it is.
Overall, like, what was your overall thought on it?
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was
that's about where I was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's how I thought. I'm like, it was fun. I like vampire movies.
Mhm.
I liked this take on it. Not scary.
No, the scares were very the scare. There was a bit more scare elements before the reveal that she's the monster.
Mm-hmm.
Like with Angus Cloud being the first one to die and the black guy. There was a bit more when you didn't know when
Yeah.
we knew what the monster was going to be, but in the
But
when the
before she
characters didn't
revealed
know.
it, yeah.
When before the characters know what and who the monster is, it's like a good bit of tension.
I thought it was fun too because of like you could tell the actors had fun on it.
Yes.
Like the people said that this is the most blood they've ever seen on set, and like even the directors were like, I feel like I gotta apologize for all this blood, but that's fun.
That's what we're here for.
But was the storyline and some of the did it all make sense? Not really, but
there were elements.
Fun.
There were elements that I wish were a little bit different.
Yeah.
I think they came the thing I was pointing out in the trailer. I think they came to the conclusion that she's a vampire way too quickly.
Yeah, because she doesn't look like a vampire.
She doesn't
like,
look all
that
it is her
jagged ass teeth. That's not traditional vampire teeth.
Like they shot her in the head, and yeah, sure she healed, but she could be anything else. You don't know. She'd be a fucking bagul or something.
Call her a monster.
Yeah.
Just say that we gotta kill that
This
monster.
is a fucking monster, and then like maybe later on reveal like she's a fucking vampire.
Or she could say it.
Yeah.
I'm not just any monster. I'm Dracula's daughter.
Or you
She's not a British
see
accent.
her drinking somebody.
Yeah.
Drinking somebody. But yeah, I feel like they came to that conclusion way too quick. They like immediately like she gets loose. She reveals she's a vampire. They lock her in the room. The literal next scene is we kidnapped a vampire.
Yeah.
Oh no! And then Kathryn. Oh no. Which makes it seem like I'm making fun of Kathryn. I love Kathryn Newton, but
She was the best.
she's the best.
Probably my favorite part in this movie was Kathryn Newton. I'd say.
Yeah.
Just all of her. Just the whole her character.
She's great. I mean, we had a really like stacked cast: Melissa Barrera, Dan Stevens, Kevin Durand, Kathryn
Abigail
Newton,
is played by the girl that plays Matilda.
Alicia Weir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very talented. Matilda, great musical. I actually really enjoy it.
Yeah, she's an Irish girl that played a British reader and now an American vampire. American? She had an American accent.
Yeah, she
we
had
don't
an
know how
American
old
accent.
she is.
She was also in another horror movie called Don't Leave Home.
Okay.
Interesting. Released in 2018, an American artist's obsession with the disturbing urban legend leads her to investigation of the story's origins at the crumbling estate of a reclusive painter in Ireland.
Oh, well, then she used her real voice for that one, probably.
Yeah, no doubt. But yeah, she was great.
Ireland.
She was great. Angus Cloud, also Giancarlo Esposito, also in the cast. But Alicia Weir, well done.
Yeah, everybody was awesome.
Everyone was great.
Even
but I mean,
that one Quebec guy or whatever. I don't know. The big muscle man.
Kevin Durand.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's always one of those people that's like, he's enjoyable for what they cast him in. But he never does like more than he needs to.
Yeah. I think it was fun. It's just like annoying. I feel like if the writing was better, we could have had such a better movie.
Yeah.
Because Ready or Not is amazing. It's
great.
very fun. And what I think what they got with Ready or Not, I explained it like Anchorman, like how in Anchorman, remember we really liked Brick and he was only a small role. In Ready or Not, there's an explosion of blood at the end. And then the people of Abigail are like, let's just make that a whole movie. And everybody has blood everywhere you turn. Blood explosion. Blood explosion.
Blood explosion. Yeah.
Her hand gets in light. Blood explosion.
That's what I really, really loved. Because like when you see like vampires get exposed to sunlight, it's usually them getting just burns, them searing, them catching on fire, which par for the course, it's kind of whatever. And I knew you kind of know eventually, like, okay, they're going to shine light on her in some way. She's going to catch on fire or something.
Yeah.
Her arm fucking explodes at the mere touch of sunlight. And I was sitting there like, damn.
So silly.
All right.
I feel like if this visual team or whatever combined with the story of Late Night with the Devil, you guys could have made a brilliant
Banger.
movie.
Yeah.
You know?
But again, I just kind of have to get back to Alicia Weir on
great.
her performance, just because you always run the gamut. I've never been a big fan of like, I agree, kids are creepy, and scary demon children are scary monster and demon children are perfect for horror movies. It's always hit and miss. Because you get kids that will either act too seriously in the role where it comes off cartoonish, or they're not acting it enough, like in Pet Sematary, which granted it was basically a toddler, but where he's supposed to be a reanimated baby killing Judd, and it's just like,
Man, I thought
little
that,
baby
see,
hands.
I thought that was creepy.
It's creepy, but it's also like you look at it, you're like kind of like, but it's also kind of funny.
Yeah.
She walked that good line of like a good villain and playing and having that duality of playing like I'm playing the role of a little kid, and then I'm playing the role of like, oh no, I'm hunting and playing around with my food and everything.
Yeah.
I really like that. So top notch to her. I didn't really care that they had so much. And I get that she is a ballerina, but I didn't really care that they had so much of
dancing.
it.
So what happened? They wrote more dance sequences in because the directors were very impressed with her dancing ability.
Okay.
So
with that explanation, I can let it slide then.
That's why it makes sense. I mean, it's fun, but it also made me think: was this written after Megan? Because I am wondering if they're also like, ooh, let's just make a movie that plus blood.
Yeah.
And it's
Megan set a precedent for child monsters to dance.
It's just a bummer too because they're good writers because there are aspects of this film that I thought was really clever, like her depiction of addiction, Melissa Barrera, and how she always needed something to chew on. I'm like, why is this necessary? Why is this necessary? Then at the end, when she escapes, covered in blood, she finds a lollipop that's all bent out of shape, puts it in her mouth. And just that shot, I'm like, this is why you did it.
Yeah.
That's a great ending to a horror movie.
I
Just
think
being like, ugh.
I think they do the similar thing in Ready or Not, where remind me the actress's name.
Samara.
Samara Weaving.
Yeah. I think so.
Where I think they allude to her quitting smoking earlier in the film. And then she has she again drenched in blood after her whole family her in-laws exploded. And then she goes, sits down, lights up. Cop's like, what happened?
Yeah.
In-laws. And then cut to black. It's
So
perfect.
good.
And same thing with this. She gets in the car, drenched in blood, lollipop, cut to black. Or I think it was a slow fade,
Drives
but
off
still.
or whatever. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
But it was great. Great way to end it. Again, still some things, like you said, like there's some elements that I wish they did a little different. I don't think really needed to see Abigail's dad.
Yeah, I was like, let's not make him fucking Dracula or whatever. And he
And
was.
they didn't
I'm
outright
like,
say-
man,
yeah.
why can't she be the one that set them up? Like, why could. So the whole story is these kidnappers think they're kidnapping a rich person's daughter, when in actuality, it's a vampire. It's a hungry vampire kidnapping them.
It also works double as like not a mob hit. Like someone getting whacked from a crime organization, because each
I would
one
say
of them
whacked.
because each one of them, the reason why they were chosen was because they screwed over basically her dad, who's the crime lord.
Yeah.
They screwed him over in some way, so they're like, all right, well, you got hired because of this and this and this and
I
this.
totally forgot about that part.
It's like a quick little,
Yeah.
it's like a whole thing when they have her locked in the cage and she's just like, you don't know why you're here? Oh, Dan Stevens' character, the cop who had a little too much of the good life and this and that. And she even alludes back to a story where they're talking about how the crime lord's elite hitman, who ends up being Abigail, 3 witnesses that were going to testify ended up being ripped apart.
Yeah, I remember that part.
Being like secured and everything. So they allude back to like, she did that, and and then Dan Stevens' character was the one who brought them in to testify or whatever. It was a whole expositional explanation thing. But
Good.
but great. I think the balance of comedy was pretty decent.
Yeah, it was definitely funnier.
Yeah.
Shout out to my girl, Kathryn Newton.
Kathryn Newton.
And Angus Cloud.
Angus Cloud, rest
So
in
good.
peace. This was gotta give that shout out. This was Angus Cloud's final role, who passed away in July of 2023.
They filmed all the scenes before he passed, though.
Yes,
So
and they were able to.
Don't think, oh, they cut him.
No,
No,
they
he was
they
supposed to
also
die.
filmed it well before the strikes as well.
Yeah.
Production wasn't completed until months after his death due to the SAG-AFTRA strikes. Cloud still managed to film all of his scenes before production was shut down. Yeah.
Great.
But he played it well too. He played an obvious first kill, but he played it really, really well.
But I think that was needed because that was ruined in the trailer. So let's get it over with. Does that make sense,
Yeah.
And then I thought the funniest kill kind of was like, I like how they're like, we don't even need to know about this guy, the black guy.
Oh, we have so little info on this guy.
There was a scene where Marissa Barrera has some skill where she could be like, you're a lonely person.
Well, they find out that they both served in the military in some way.
Yeah, but she's like, I'm not even going to talk about your past.
Yeah.
Like, she's talking about everybody's pasts or whatever, and she's like, I'm not even going to say anything about yours because we don't need it because he's the next kill, and we don't even know his name.
Yeah. He's the quickest, I'd say probably even like the least satisfying kill in the movie.
I did love the twist of Newt's. I'm calling her the Newts.
The Newt
I loved her
dog.
turning into a vamp. That was fun. And that, because watching the trailer, when they do the dance, I'm like, what the fuck is that shit?
What's she doing? Yeah.
And it's funny because in the movie it makes sense because Abigail's controlling her.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was funny. She played a great little vamp.
Yeah. Kathryn Newton has probably one of the creepiest scenes in the movie when she falls into the pool area.
Yeah.
And it's just littered with bodies.
That was pretty gross.
It's just like, oh, there's bodies in the pool. How many? Like 3? And it's just, no, it's an Olympic-sized pool filled with people's bodies.
That's pretty funny.
And then she comes down, she's just drenched in.
I'm like,
dead
why don't you
goop.
go take a shower? You're in a mansion.
Do you think there's running water in that mansion?
Maybe. They think they shut off the water. They're just locking them up. They're not gonna. They kept the electricity on.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, that's not.
But I do like how all the vampires die. I do like that we don't only have one vampire as well, because we get Kathryn Newton.
Oh yeah, and then
we get Dan Stevens. We get Giancarlo Esposito. Then we get Abigail, and then we also get Abigail's dad, but he's barely does shit. He also looks. He doesn't.
silly.
He looks silly. He looks like someone's weird uncle.
Make Giancarlo Esposito the dad. What's his name in Breaking Bad?
Gus
That's
Fring.
That's it. Make Gus the dad. Instead, he was like, I just work for her, and she made me a vampire. Me. That's not how you act, Gus. Not at the El Pollo Loco.
We know who you are.
Mm.
What was that voice? Overall best kill. Where would you say?
Man, you go first. Let me think about it.
I am best kill. I gotta go. I mean, Kathryn Newton exploding is really funny.
Yeah. That was, I mean, any explosions. I can't remember any distinct. I really liked, I liked Angus's too, because then he was just like, wasn't it just his head without his head?
No, they had him, she had him propped up on a chair, and then when Kathryn Newton goes up to like, be like, hey, what are you doing? And his head just falls right off.
Yeah. I like that stuff.
Classic
reveal. I liked the blood explosions at first, but then I was like burnt out from them, I'm like, we get it.
Well, because they all started coming towards the tail end of the movie too, which was, yeah.
I liked how Dan Stevens died too, right?
Yeah.
I liked him dying. Because I was like, this guy, why are you so mean all of a sudden?
He transitioned into a good vampire villain.
Yeah, all of a sudden though, and I'm like, I wish there was some explanation of like changing could affect you, like your personality. You die and become a new person. Does that make sense?
I think just the feeling, because like anytime you see like a someone turn into a vampire, they always have like, oh man, I've never felt so great. Oh, I can smell your blood. Oh, I'm so hungry. Or they have like some kind of like
Yeah.
that kind of a instant reaction to it. So I think just that after he was turned, I think that initial just like, wow, this feels great. And immediately it's just like power goes to his head.
Yeah.
And he was already a corrupt cop, so I have to imagine he's already
Not a good guy.
He's a piece of shit from the beginning.
Yeah.
But I did. I was surprised that he got turned.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was going to end up being him and Melissa all the way to the
Barrera.
end. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
But nope, she's just the final girl in the whole thing.
Good.
Yeah.
We only need her.
Yeah. Like we said, the explosions great, nice and chunky, just the way we like them.
Very fun. Yeah, it's fun.
It's fun.
That's
It's
how
a
I feel.
fun. It's a fun horror movie. With that on the scary rating.
Is it memorable?
It's
Do I remember all the kills? No.
You don't even remember a lot of the exposition.
It wasn't even that long ago.
No.
It was yesterday. We just watched it. It's crazy.
Call us out. Try to see what happens. You'll never know. Would you
I
have
gotta-
receipts? Maybe we do. We don't know. On the scary rating, 1 being Hotel Transylvania, 10 being the scariest thing in the world. Where are you putting this though?
Oh man, it's almost to Hotel Transylvania. Probably like 2 or probably 3.
I'd say 3 as well.
Yeah.
But in terms of movie, I'm gonna give it a 4.
Yeah, 4.5.
All right. Well,
You know what? Because this movie, I think the trailer also burnt me out. And I feel like if we watch this 3 years from now, like without the trailer, it's going to be fun.
Okay. A good little experiment to try.
Yeah, but I think now we're like, ugh, because I really did enjoy Kathryn Newton and Abigail. And the cast,
The
honestly,
cast is
was
great.
really fun.
Nobody really dropped the ball in terms of
Yeah.
like they gave a bad performance.
Yeah. So I think if we just stop watching the trailer for a few years,
Mhm.
and then it'll be fun again.
Give us 10 years and then it'll be one of the greats.
Yeah. So 4.5 or
Yeah.
5. Like,
I'd round up. I'd say, yeah, like between both these, I'd round up to say, give it an even 5.
yeah, I'm gonna say 5.
In terms of the bin, I mean, it's definitely not on the top surface. I don't think it's a bottom of the bin.
No.
I'd say it's maybe a tier 3, that hidden treasure that like you go digging for it and you find it. You give it a try.
I'm telling you, like, it's the one that's been in there for a few years that you forgot about for a second. You're like, nah, I'll watch this again. And you're like, holy shit, this is funnier than I remembered.
I say in terms of like the perfect place and time and opportunity to watch this movie, I'd say this is a good like babysitting movie. Like if you're babysitting like maybe like middle school kids or something, and you want to be the cool babysitter, this is the horror movie to put on.
Too many fucks. That's
I say not enough.
Too many fucks for some kids.
Yeah.
I think it's fun though to watch with like your family, like not your kids, but like I could put this on for my mom and she's not gonna be scared. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? She's gonna be scared of Exorcist shit, but this type of stuff she'll get a kick out of. Like
Yeah.
show it. I'm the opposite. Show it to the ones you other babysit, the adult babysitters,
Okay.
the adult caregiver. You know what I mean?
show us
Show it to your
show it at the nursing home.
grandparents. Yeah. Put it on movie night at the nursing home.
Yeah.
They'll love it. They hate people.
Yeah.
They want to see them die.
Yeah, on the scare rating, we're giving it a 3. Movie rating 5. Tier 3, hidden treasure level for the horror bin itself. But overall, like we said, fun movie.
Fun, but like, would I be happy that I paid money for it?
No,
I don't know.
I wouldn't.
Is it better than Late Night with the Devil? I don't like that. What do you think about that?
Between those two, I'm putting Late Night with the Devil above Abigail. Abigail's more fun. Late Night with the Devil was more scary.
Yeah.
Not like a huge marginal difference, but enough to where I can tell like Late Night with the Devil is scarier than this.
Yeah, because I'm thinking that's better written,
Yes.
but this is better visually. But I think ultimately you're right. It is like the good story does surpass the fun, like blood explosions.
Yeah. That being like, in terms of horror, that being like, for me, the biggest draw is like the level of gore in this movie.
Yeah.
Other
100%.
than that.
And Kathryn Newton.
And Kathryn Newton. You can't go wrong with Kathryn Newton.
Has she ever done anything bad? Because
Ant-Man Quantumania.
Oh yeah, that wasn't. She wasn't the star of that though.
Okay.
Oh,
well,
was she? I fell
Well, I
asleep.
mean, she's like that setup for like, oh, we're setting you up to start being in other movies by yourself.
Oh, so she's a part of this
Yeah.
new crew.
Yeah, the Young Avengers. Yeah, but who knows? I'm
Well, that
glad.
doesn't-
I'm glad Marvel's taking a bit of a break. I want that Blade movie to be real good.
That's Marvel.
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know.
Blade is Marvel, and eventually we will do the Wesley Snipes ones. I will figure that out.
Ryan Reynolds too, and Jessica Biel, Blade
Ugh,
Trinity.
the worst of the three.
Hotties.
The hotties, but it's a bad movie.
Yeah, I know.
It's so bad. 1 is good, 2 is the best, 3 is bad. A classic trilogy. Surely the thing. But Kelly, as always, thank you for joining us back on the pod.
Thanks
and
for having me.
and this one, like I said, this one was a fun one. If you get a chance, definitely check it out. I don't think we'd recommend spending money on it.
If you have AMC A-list, as we just told our friend, hey, you got AMC A-list? It's worth it.
Use it.
If you got some free time and you want to see a movie, yes, go
Yeah.
see it.
Give it.
Civil War's not in theaters still, because let me tell you, I was surprised.
That one was good. We almost, like, a part of me was sitting in there on that second viewing, like, thinking, like, would this count as a would this count? Like,
People thought it was.
you kind of want to count it as a horror movie.
It's like a modern day horror.
Yeah, like an existential, like, reality.
It's too
horror.
real. They don't want to call it a horror, you know?
Yeah, this is could happen.
Yeah.
But Kelly, you got your camera here. You got your mic. Let the people know where to find you. What you got going on?
Cool. Sure. I'm Kelly McInerney. You can find me on Kelly McInerney on Instagram. Comedy Bingo once a month in LA if you're around. Speakeasy Sketch, just Kelly McInerney on Instagram. I'll post all it there.
Check.
Thanks, Julian.
You're welcome, Kelly. And you guys can find me on all the things at Julian F. Comedy, julianfcomedy.com for all my show dates and tour dates. You guys can follow this podcast on everything at Horror Bin Pod. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, do all the fun things. Let us know what you guys thought about the movie. Let us know what movies you guys want us to add to the bin as well. Let's continue to grow this vampiric community together. And as we say at the end of every episode, fucking hate ballet. Bye.